It's about passion for a sport we all enjoy. It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about a single voice of strength. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
We're asking you to join us
and become a proud members American Catfish Association. You'll be happy you did. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Almost the end of July. Coming up in August. Tell you know what that means. That means there's going to be another tournament in Helena. There's another, then September rolls around, and we've got the Fishing for a Cure Labor Day weekend. I believe Alex Nagy with Twisted Cats got one that weekend. Then you got Alton. Then you got Mississippi River Monsters in the middle of September. So a lot of big events, a lot of great events coming up. And we were just at an event. I just got back last night, walked in the door about 2 a.m., flew down from Memphis. I was in Caruthersville since last Wednesday. What a great event. Great to see everybody. Half the fun of going to these events is getting to see everybody and talking to people. And I saw Mick Petrie there and gave him another 2 or 3 sinker slides. So he should have enough for the next, 6 months, as he stole the last 3 in January. So, Cat Masters did a heck of a job, as they always do. And I have Brian with us tonight. Let me bring Brian in. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Glenn.
How are you?
Tired.
I'll bet you are. Brian and his crew drove back in. I think you got in this afternoon, right?
Yeah, Jennifer and I got in this afternoon about 2 o'clock. We had some stops to make on the way back home.
Did you have the air conditioning on?
Yeah, maxed out all the way.
Man, oh man! They complain that Florida's hot, but my God,
that was by far the hottest. Warmest conditions we've ever endured. I guarantee that.
It was warm, but hats off to the anglers. A lot of these fish coming out of live wells, man, they were kicking and screaming.
They were.
They did a terrific job. Terrific job with fish care, which is great. Now, Brian, this was a 2-day event. You weighed in, and I've got my notes here. But you weighed in a total of over 5,300 pounds of fish in 2 days.
Correct.
5,350.05 pounds. And
Correct.
You said the first day was about 2,700 pounds?
I believe it was 2,700 pounds when there was 65 boats that weighed in. What was amazing on the second day, naturally we see less boats weigh in, and we did. And there was 46 boats. But the weights were, I believe it was 2,500 pounds. Close to
I just can't, 5,300 pounds. And your entire crew, hats off. I mean, starting with Ty and James on stage, Kenneth in the back. What was the other fellow's name that was back there helping out?
Coy.
Guys were doing an unbelievable job. As a matter of fact, those that don't know, and, Brian is probably one of the most educated, I want to say obsessed, but it's a good obsession as far as fish care. And I got a clip here I'm going to run for you that we did while we were there, as far as how Brian had all this set up. And this is Brian, just all the Cat Masters, because there's so many people involved. And Brian, set this up a little bit. You got this holding tank the fire department in Caruthersville provided this to you, right?
Yes. We actually
And
had. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ordered, and it didn't come in time. And these are actually fire departments have these as water holding tanks, so they let us use theirs. They filled the water up, and hats off.
Yeah, they came in and they filled that thing in a matter of seconds.
Yes,
I think it was amazing.
Dump tube that dumped it in there, and anyway, we treated the water. It was just one of a couple of holding tanks we used for, fish, watching the fish. We had lots of oxygen on those tanks.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you didn't have any small tanks there either. You had 2 large oxygen tanks, and they were flowing.
Yes.
But let me bring up this clip here. You can see how everything was set up.
Hey, everybody. We're about 1.5 hours from our live feed for the weigh-in. This is going to show you our nursery tanks that we have. We had somebody weigh in early today. We have a big 1,500-gallon nursery tank with pure oxygen on it. These are 2 fish that were weighed in earlier. Let's go over here. We have an extreme live well for a nursery tank here. So if we have a struggling fish, we can possibly put pure oxygen on it. These are just backups if we need them. And then over here, we have release tanks. We'll take them down the road and release them at the ramp. This has got pure oxygen on those.
So essentially, it's taking care of the fish.
Taking care of the fish. We back this trailer down at the ramp, lift these doors, and release the fish. So we're going to try to do that in a hurry. But stay tuned. We have some boats rolling in.
It's a great clip. You really, really did a great job setting up, Brian.
Thank you.
That's what Fish Care is all about. That's what it's all about. If you're going to run a tournament like this during the summer, actually anytime, having that kind of equipment available to take care of these fish, that's what needs to happen. So the precedence that you're setting, Brian, is seems like an awfully good one.
Well, I mean, it's something that we felt like we needed to do, and summertime tournaments are definitely are tougher to do. It's tougher on the fish. It's we now know why we do 3 fish and not 5 fish in the summertime.
Yep.
It's a lot better on the fish, and when we were loading up the fish at the end, everybody was gone, and we'd make several loads. But the last load, I wish I'd have videoed it to see these fish. We had 3 people. A friend of mine, Coy, was there just to help. He drove all the way from Texas, him and his wife. But and we had dinner planned afterwards. But he had fish slapping him, knocking his hat off, knocking their glasses off. These fish were wild coming out of those tanks.
Yeah, they were.
And
as a matter of fact, if I can interrupt you, if anybody's out there that has videos of people getting slapped around by these catfish, we want them. We want to put together a kind of a blooper reel, if you will, of catfishing, and certainly we'll start it off. In fact, it was a year ago, right? Wasn't it at Caruthersville last year?
Yes. Larry Muse.
That Larry Muse got knocked around pretty good.
Yeah.
But clips like that, let us have them, man. We'll put something together. That'll be a lot of fun.
And also, I want to say when we're talking about Fish Care, thanks to Trevor Netterhoff, he came down on his way to Iowa, and he helped me work on every boat was checked that weighed in. We checked the dissolved oxygen and temperature, if they had oxygen, if they didn't have oxygen. And I haven't been able to review the second day. We did go over the first day, and I'll tell you this. Oxygen is the number one reason these fish were in good shape to go back in the water. We did have a few boats that didn't have oxygen. Matter of fact, we had 12 boats total. And I'll tell you that we could tell the difference between boats that had oxygen and that were running their oxygen correctly versus a few of the boats that did not have oxygen. It was a major difference. Thank goodness we had
Right.
the 3 tanks because we were able to take care of some of those fish. And those anglers were educated just like we were. And I think they're ready for Helena moving forward. We had some teams that weighed in early because they didn't have oxygen and their fish were, struggling. And luckily we had some extra tanks that we had on hand and put those, let those anglers have those. And they worked really good for them the second day. But
Yeah.
a lot of these anglers have the system ordered, and as everybody knows, a lot of things are hard to get these days. But I was talking to Michael Stover with Macy's. I believe they got their shipment in today, or they're getting their shipment in 10 to 15 days. So if you're looking for stones, I know they got a long list of people that are waiting on stones for the Helena tournament. They will have those in and able to ship those out in time for Helena. If you can't find one, I think he has plenty that are coming that should get on his list. It's a very important because they're hard to find. I've tried all over the country trying to find some stones, and they're just not out there. And that's an important part to that tool you need is that ceramic stone.
Yeah, now explain, Brian. I know you have done this in the past, but for folks that maybe haven't caught some of your explanations, quickly kind of give us an idea of how to properly set up the live well, especially for this time of year.
Well, this time of year, we require, and most catfish boats are 50 gallons to 100 as far as a live well. So you need a really good stone. We prefer the 12-inch by 2.5. What we saw, something else we saw teams with oxygen and had the small round stones that weren't ceramic, and their oxygen readings were really low. And the reason for that is the small bubbles, micro bubbles, introduce oxygen into the water column easier than the larger bubbles. So it's very important because we see oxygen on boats. We test it and we're looking at a 2.5 to a 3.5 readings. That's deadly to fish in about a 2-hour period of time. And they also waste oxygen. So it's very important that you use the ceramic style. They introduce it in really micro bubbles. But even having those, we tested some boats that had the ceramic, and their dials were, not enough. Even though you can see the bubbles coming up, it's not enough for a 100-gallon live well. So it's something we're gonna put some stuff together. We posted some stuff that Wade had shared, some stuff that Wade Kaminsky had wrote up, and it's basically where you put your dial with different weights of fish in your live well, and it's something I would consider looking at. We'll post it again, but when you start getting a loaded live well, you start cranking those oxygen levels up. We were seeing temperatures between 83 to 86 degrees, and it's very important. But as a whole, anglers did a great job taking care of fish.
Yeah, they did. And I was remiss in not mentioning Trevor earlier. He was running up and down that weigh-in line, doing a terrific job.
Yeah, and Trevor's very knowledgeable with taking care of fish. So if the angler had questions, here's what I've got, what I need to do. The problem is a lot of anglers had stuff ordered, the right stuff ordered. Just it's still, we're waiting on
it to come in.
Yeah, it's hard to get stuff these days.
Well, it's great. It's great to see anglers though taking the bull by the horns and setting up and keeping these fish really, really in great shape. And another trick too, and we talked about this, was having some ice on board. And you certainly don't dump a whole bag of ice in there, but little by little, kind of take the temperature down just a little bit, or at least keep it at a bearable level. But in that ice is a tremendous amount of oxygen.
Yeah, I mean, the temperature drop, that 5 to 6 degrees, 8 degrees, you don't want to go over 10-degree drop.
Right.
It really makes a big, big difference on how much oxygen can go into a tank. It also helps the fish with the stress as well. But I think we used about 20 bags total in the 2 days in our nursery tanks. And I think they help. We saw some fish that were really struggling come back and swim off in the river later in the afternoon when we released them.
And people talk about the chlorine in the ice, but the thing is if, a bag of ice is probably, once it melts down, maybe about a gallon or so of water. And when you're putting it into a 60, 70, 80, 100 gallon live well, it's a minute amount.
It's a very minute amount of chlorine. Correct.
Yeah. So, make sure you got some ice on there and get that in there. And, water is like air. When it gets cold, it condenses, and that ice is just loaded with oxygen. So that will help as well.
Yes.
Brian, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to talk about what's coming up.
Sounds good.
No matter how hard you try, keeping your rigs tangle-free is, well, challenging. Well, not anymore with Rig Wrap. Staying tangle-free has never been easier. Just wrap, close, rinse, and store. Simple, right?
Wow.
No matter the rig, Rig Wrap has a storage solution to keep you tangle-free. From conveniently small to offshore extra large, you'll never worry about tangled rigs ever again. Rig Wrap, the world's best fishing rig storage solution.
Hey, I just saved a whole bunch of money on my hotel room for this tournament. You know that ACA has over 800,000 businesses in that discount program?
Man, have y'all seen the resources on the ACA website? I mean, they've got everything on there you need to know about catfish.
All that stuff is great, but look at what they're doing for conservation. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not a member.
Hello, ACA?
Cat River Anchors.
While we're on break, here, I'll bring this up. John is also stating that they also change out their water 3-4 times during the day. If you can do that, even better, right?
Correct.
Keep it circulating, keep it filtered.
Yeah, that was one of the things that one of the anglers had lost his oxygen, and he was afraid one of his fish was sick. And that was one of the things that I helped him. He called me as he was going down the river to stop he was an hour away from the ramp, and he stopped ever so often and changed out about 50% of his water. And I think he did it 3 times. And at the ramp, I told him, as soon as you get to the ramp, do it one more time, pull out, go to the store, get some ice, throw a bag of ice in the water. Anyway, I'm not saying that's what helped, but when he got to the weigh-in, the fish he was worried about was in good shape.
Steve Henderson just made a comment here. Someone mentioned adding hydrogen peroxide. That's a first for you.
I don't have any experience with that. I've heard about it. I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see what it does to the water. Steve was there fishing.
Yes, he was.
He was there fishing. It was good to see him. So, anyways, you weren't the only one that had a tournament this weekend. Rod Rippon had their Rumble on the River Championship. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had Damian and Jeremy on here, which was a lot of fun. And they have this battle between Indiana and Kentucky. And if you remember, Damian was absolutely 100% sure that Kentucky was going to win. He made a mention that, what is it? Sounds like the barking dog. Oh, barking dog just sound they don't bite. Well, this dog bit because Indiana won it. Jeremy was right. They beat them. Team Kentucky came in with a total of 300. This is the top 10 teams, 339.6 pounds. And Team Indiana came in with 356.8 pounds.
That's close.
And Tom Petrowski and Henry Neefus led the way for Kentucky with 62.6 pounds and a 39.2 big fish. And for Team Indiana, it was Stephen Fancher, Dana Peak with 44.2 pounds. I don't know who had big fish on that one. But Indiana won it. Congratulations, guys.
Congrats.
And I sent up a whole case of rig wraps for everybody on the winning team, and I think there was enough. If not, let me know and we'll get you whatever you need. So for Cat Masters this week, really was a lot of fun.
It was a lot
Adam
of fun.
Long.
It was long, it was hot, it was fun, it was good to see all the anglers.
Oh, it's always great to see everybody. And everybody just constantly busting chops.
Yes. And I want to thank
Never stops.
Jig and the city of Caruthersville for all the work that they put into this. We travel all over the place, and I can't, they're hard to beat as far as a group of people, sponsors that are part. I mean, anything we needed, they were Johnny on the spot getting, in the heat of the battle. There was times we needed something and they were there. There was they had people helping us behind the stage during the weigh-in or taking fish back. Just everything about what they do is great. We enjoy going there.
Yeah, Wade and Lance and what's his dad's name? Their dad's name?
I haven't met him. Beth is.
I met him several times, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Beth is very instrumental too with this Chamber of Commerce.
I was certainly going to bring up Beth's name, but like you said, Grizzly Jig in the city of Caruthersville, they had a catfish cook-off. They had a Bloody Mary contest. I forget her name, and I apologize, but she was on The Voice, and she was terrific. They had a band there. Whole parking lot was full of people. Everybody was kind of melting with the heat, but beyond that, it was really a lot of fun. I mean, it was a great time. Yeah, it was great. I mean, if it would have been another maybe 25 degrees cooler, I think the people would still be in that parking lot having fun. So anyway, Adam Long, Hunter Jones, and Wes Wilkinson won the Cat Masters Caruthersville 2021 with 203.78 pounds. And next in line, now Brad and his crew, Brad Stout, Ty Needham, and Andy Needham, second place. And they won second place the week before at Alex's event at Twisted Cat, right?
At Gerardo, correct.
Yep, with 180 pounds. And then Don Sweat, Roy Harkness, and Bill Dance, Dr. Bill, came in third with 171.99 pounds.
Yep.
Unbelievable. I mean, a lot, you see these guys come off the water, and it was hot. It was hot. I was out there. I was out on Thursday with George Young up and down the Mississippi and his new Sea Arc Dynasty. Great boat. You got a Dynasty, right?
Yeah, I love mine.
Yeah, it really is a nice boat. If you're thinking about getting a boat for catfishing, you got to check out Sea Arc. It's just a really, 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 really nice boat. Did I say really enough? Really nice boat. And like I said, it was great to see Steve Henderson there. Steve is getting into catfishing.
I saw that.
He's getting into it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody that's fishing with him saying how well he's doing.
I don't think
I wonder if they will actually they'll lie for him or they will, tell us the truth.
You never know.
My guess is he's not going out of the park if I know Steve Henderson. So, but lot of fun. If you haven't fished a Catmaster event, if you haven't fished one of these big Division I events, go for it. Give it a shot. The only way you're going to learn how to fish against the best is to fish against the best. It's as simple as that. Mississippi was ripping, brother. I was out there on Thursday with George. Now, I grew up in Western New York, and I fished on the Niagara River, and the Niagara River is always ripping. It goes from Lake Erie to Niagara Falls, and then you got the lower Niagara Falls, the Niagara River, and that goes out to Lake Ontario. And that's always ripping. But the Mississippi was ripping.
With a lot of debris on it, too, you'll see.
Oh, it looked like a bomb went off in some places with all the debris. But, and again, hats off to the Sea Arc boat. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So, Helena. It's what, 3.5 weeks away? 3 weeks away.
Yeah, and it's we have I believe right at 104, 105 teams coming to that event right now. So it's going to be a pretty big. Helena's a little bit different. We're a month away from Caruthersville. The granaries are going to be popping down there. We see a lot more fish. Anglers are going to be catching, 20, 30, 40 fish a day. We expect that week. I'm actually taking off a week. I'm going down there to fun fish leading up to the tournament. I have some new anglers from Texas I'm going to get in the boat with and practice a little bumping, have a little fun leading up to the tournament. I'm excited.
Have you bumped when the current was running the way it was this past weekend?
I haven't bumped on the Mississippi River, but I've bumped on the Red River when it was a little bit stronger than the Mississippi this weekend. It's tough.
I went fishing last year in Helena with George and having fun bumping. Caught, I think, what did I catch? 3 fish last year. I went bumping with him on Thursday. Man, I could not keep that bottom. I had a 4-ounce weight, and I stepped out to a 6-ounce weight. I was ready to go to a friggin' 1-pound weight. I just could not stay on that bottom. And,
I heard people were bumping with 12 ounces. That's a lot of weight.
It is a lot of weight. But I mean, you find that bottom, and you got that rhythm, that tap going, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And it's like, you let line out, you pull line in, what are you doing? And I was just, I got a couple of hits, but nothing, doesn't count unless you bring it into the boat. Doesn't count.
But Helen is August 20 and 21st. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and get up there in advance. It's a great area. It's a lot of fun. Kevin Smith, the mayor of Helena, rolls out the red carpet, and just like the folks in Caruthersville, Helena knocks themselves out as well.
Yes, they do.
Which is great to see. Brian, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to give something away.
Sounds good.
What do you think?
Sounds good.
Oh, we got Fishing with Clarence in the house. You know who that is, right?
Yes, I do.
Clarence, if I would have known you're going to be here, I would have sent you a link. All right. Hang on a second here. We'll be right back.
Fear of failure is failure itself. The world of science rewards the ones who are willing to try and fail, because with the courage to fail and to learn, ideas can change the world.
Hey guys, Pipeline here. Do you want the absolute best when it comes to the performance of your reels?
Choose the company Tournament Anglers trust. From our top-notch reel services
to high-end quality terminal tackle.
Trust in
Pipeline Tackle.
It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
Do you remember the first reel you fished with?
No.
Come on, you're not that old.
Sure, it was the Zepco.
Which is a spin caster, I believe, right? I used to go down to Florida quite a bit, and my grandfather had this room off his like Florida room, the little closet, walk-in closet, and all his fishing gear was in there, and I would spend hours in there. And there was one rod and reel that I always wanted to fish with, and he would never, ever, ever let me touch that setup. Yeah, and but one day I did get a chance to use it. He loved to catch go fishing for snook, and boy, could he catch them! My God. Anyways, got a prize wheel right here, and we've been spinning it and then telling who the winner is. How should we do it, Brian? Should we pick the winner and then spin it, or spin it and then find the winner? You tell me. Your choice.
I say we pick the winner first.
Let's pick the winner first. All right. Let's pick the winner first. And by the way, some of you that are entering every week, you can enter once, not like 5 times. It's one entry per person every week, right here on ACA Live. Where is it here? Okay. Debbie Gregg, Gragg. Debbie Gregg. There's also a Jason Gregg in here. So, Jason, your wife, your sister, your cousin, somebody related to you, just won. Debbie, if you would, please send me an email at info@acafishing.com. And so I can either send you out something or have it sent to you. So let's spin the wheel, see what Debbie won. Tackle Bandit. Debbie, send me your information. I'm going to pass it along to Nate at Tackle Bandit, and Nate is going to set you up with some great Tackle Bandit stuff. He carries rig wrap and a whole bunch of other stuff. So he may send you some Demon Dragons. He may send you some, who knows what you can say. He could send you a gift card. That's also great to have too, right? Nate does a good job. So if you want something, he just opened up a new store. Have you seen the store?
I have.
He did a really good job. Did a terrific job with it.
Yes.
But if you want tackle, you're looking for tackle for your next outing, go over to tacklebandit.com, and Nate will take very, very good care of you. Spud wants to win. He wants to enter. Is he allowed to?
I don't think so.
Jerry said give away a free Capmasters entry. Jerry Dillard.
Hey, that reminds me, if we have some anglers that are watching, Tawakoni, the Classic registration opens next Monday. That's the 3-day event. coming up in February, our final event. But remember, when registration opens, and we'll talk about this, you can't register unless the captain has been registered in one of the 5 events previously.
Yeah, Brian, talk a little bit about that. This is new for you this season. Wait a minute. Caruthersville was the first event of your season, correct? Your new season, your 2021, 2022 season.
Correct.
And you got a little something different going on this year, right?
A little bit different. I mean, our points race is fairly the same. We had a lot of teams, I hadn't gone through it, that signed up for the points race at Caruthersville, starting at Caruthersville. So you need to be sure if you're going to join in the points race, you have to pre-register. We have that online. It's separate. It's $25 an angler, up to 4 anglers on a team. But that's the best 3 of 6 pays the $20,000 grand prize at the final. And then Tawakoni is our big classic. We're going to do 2 days of it's basically a normal 2-day Cat Masters tournament, and then the top 20 will go into championship Saturday, and we'll have marshals, judges on each boat, each one of those 20 boats, and we're going to weigh every single fish that you catch. And we have a lot of people that have volunteered. Alex Nagy's coming down to be a judge. George Young Jr. is coming down to be a judge. I have a lot of people that have volunteered for that. We're still looking for more. And that's in February. You know, I think we weighed in 4,000 pounds of fish on the Friday and 5,000 pounds of fish on Saturday.
Yeah, you had a lot of fish you weighed in.
It's a great fishery in February. We're looking forward to that, but we have a lot of good tournaments between now and then too, as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of other tournaments coming up too. Matt Miles just brought up in November. November you've got another event too, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, me and Matt have a tournament on the same day. He has King of James, and I have the Texoma event on the same.
Yeah, but you're on almost opposite ends of the country.
Yeah, we're a 24-hour drive away from each other. True.
Yeah. But King of James, his registration for opens up August 6th, and what date is that? So obviously you know what date it is. What is it? November what?
Glenn, I have a hard time keeping up with dates.
It's okay.
It's the second weekend in November, I believe.
Okay, the second weekend in November. But you can check it out. You can go to the Cat Masters and check out all their events coming up for the remainder of this year and next year, and certainly King of the James. You check them out as well, and get registered up for either event. Or if you're really good, both events. I don't know how you do that, but what the heck? Steve Johnson is in the house, and he asked, when is Cat Masters tournament going west of Texas? Now, Steve's in California, so.
I know, Steve. That's tough. I mean, we have a hard time putting on 6 to 7 big events each year, going west or further east. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Matt Miles just said it's November 13th and 14th.
Yeah.
For King of James. And also for you. Now, you've moved Texoma. You've moved Texoma to November, correct?
We have Texoma. Texoma produces more fish in November versus January dates that we did. We tried to change all of our dates where it was the best fishing for the destination this season.
Right. Well, anglers come to these events because they want to catch fish.
They do.
So that's a great way to do it. Well, Brian, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on tonight and bringing us up to speed on what's coming up and what happened this past weekend. And again, hats off, brother, to a terrific event. And again, to Ty and James and your wife, Jennifer. People don't realize how, she works her tail off. You should be ashamed of yourself the way you make your wife work.
You're right. I should be ashamed. But I also want to thank. It takes more than just us. I mean, we had a lot of volunteers. Glenn and
Oh
Glenn,
yeah.
Jesse there with us with production that works really hard as well, and guys like Trevor that showed up.
Yep.
Coy and his wife drove 10 hours. Coy just bought a new Dynasty. He's planning on fishing the rest of the tournaments, but his trolling motor hasn't came in yet. So instead of being able to fish Caruthersville, he did come up there and help us, and it was a big thank you to Coy and his wife. But we had a lot of help from everybody. We want to thank all of our sponsors.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great sponsors at that too. Yes. And again, Wade with Grizzly Jig and the whole Grizzly Jig staff, Beth and the entire city of Caruthersville. Terrific job. Those that were there for the catfish cook-off and the Bloody Mary contest, and I wish I could remember that gal's name that sang. She really has a voice. Yeah. And thank you, Brian. It was a terrific event. A lot of fun to see everybody.
Thank you.
Next week, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to say one more thing. We're also going to do a live. Cat Masters is going to do a live on Wednesday, and we'll talk about more details on Helena rules. We're going to make slight changes, some things that we learned at Caruthersville. I think everybody will like, and then we'll be giving away some good prizes. So tune in Wednesday, Cat Masters.
Yeah, Skinny's back from his honeymoon, right?
He is. Maybe we can get him on.
Yeah, maybe if his wife will let him.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. Right now he's got to ask permission. Everything he does now.
Yes, he does. He needs to. Though.
Right. Well, hey, what do they say? Happy wife, happy life.
That's right.
Okay. Next week, we got Mark Johnson, who sits on our conservation committee and also our Tournament Alliance, along with other members of our conservation committee, which they probably don't even know yet, but I'm certainly going to invite them on to talk about a few things. And we're going to talk about this new limit in Alabama. Mark has some great information I think is going to clear some of this regulation verbiage up for some folks. And I don't think it's as bad as some people might think. Missouri has a public comment out there for the middle of August. They're looking for public comments, and we're going to be talking about that, what their current regulation is. Brian, you now sit on the conservation committee, so we could see you again next week.
Good. Yep.
So we're going to talk about Missouri and Indiana. Great progress is being made there, and I'm not going to say too much more, but there's a bunch of folks up there that have been working hard, and we've put in our 2 cents here and there where we could be of help. So there's some great progress being made there, and Chris Ramsey, who is the new Tournament Alliance chair. Also, Mark Johnson sits on that committee as the co-chair. We'll be here. We'll be talking about the remainder of the season, the awards banquet that's going to be coming up, and what next season is going to hold for us. So next Monday night is going to be jam-packed. So make sure that you mark the time and the date. I don't even know what date that is, but certainly 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central, here on ACA Live. You can see us on YouTube. Tonight you can see us on Cat Masters Facebook page as well. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining us tonight. Brian, again, thank you very, very much for tonight and for the entire last several days. It was a lot of fun seeing everybody.
It was.
And look forward to Helena. That should be fun as well.
Yes.
So, if you haven't, you're sold out now in Helena, right? Pretty much.
We are sold out of Helena. We do have a few of our promotional spots that we're kind of using. And I do have some that we have a kind of a waiting list. So if you want to get on the waiting list, this is the time where some people figure out they can't go, just message us. But right now I think we're setting up 104.
Okay. Yeah, MRM's the same way. It was limited to 100, and then we had, I think we set aside 10 promotional entries. And so if you want in for Helena, if you want in for MRM, let us know. We'll put you on a waiting list because, as Brian well pointed out, there are some people that, for whatever reason can't make it. So they are just terrific, terrific events. And again, don't forget to check out Fishing for a Cure. Brad Andrews is putting this together, and there's been a bunch of people in the catfishing community that's been working with Brad to put together this benefits tournament. I think it's September 4th. If you go to catfishingforkids.com, you'll see everything there is to know about that event, and certainly encourage you to join that. That's limited to 100 boats, and you got a chance to win a new Sea Arc boat. So if you're an ACA member and you fish that event, you got 2 chances to win a new Sea Arc boat. If you're not an ACA member, give us a look. Join the ACA. Every time you fish an event like Cat Masters or MRM or 185 different events throughout the country, your name goes in the hat for a chance to win a new Sea Arc boat. Your membership helps us with conservation efforts, resources, anything that we can provide to the catfish community. We're all in. That's what we're here for. That's what the ACA was created for. So, not a member, it's $50. Join in, get a chance to win some boats. We also have great sponsors that have come on board in the fishing industry. Various brands from Pure Fishing, Eber Garcia, Ugly Stick, Berkeley's, Garmin has come in. Obviously, B&M has been with us, Offshore Tackle, Rig Wrap, Bill Dance Outdoors. So many great organizations, and certainly Sea Arc has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, Sea Arc is your main sponsor as well, right, Brian?
Yes.
Do you think Steve Henderson will actually learn how to catfish?
I think he's fishing with the right people too.
Okay, but do you think he'll pick it up?
Yeah, I think he will. Yes, I will. I do think he will. I mean,
knowing Steve Henderson the way I think I do, watch out. In a couple of years, he's going to be very formidable.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Again, join the ACA.com. If you're not a member, sign up. Come be part of something. Help us make a difference. Thanks again, Brian.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks, Glenn.
It's about passion for a sport we all enjoy. It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about a single voice of strength. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
We're asking you to join us
and become a proud members American Catfish Association. You'll be happy you did. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are.